And we are live. Hello, everyone, and welcome. So glad some of you can be here with us. This is really cool. This is going to be a really cool one here. We have a great guy with us tonight. He is a chef, and his name is Robert Rainford, and he is the bomb. He is a great guy. I'm just waiting for everybody to pop in. I'm getting a lot of messages because there have been a lot of folks who have not been feeling well this week. So right now I'm even getting messages. Mm. Oh, yes, people are coming in. I'm just like sitting here all patient and waiting. I love the background.
Changed my rename, and you're looking pretty.
Thank you. So are you?
There we go, Shirley Johansson.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Is it bright enough, or
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I like the background. I have no background except what you see behind me, which ain't pretty.
yeah,
But it's a background. I'm
yes,
trying to get it going on.
I saw two people dropping off.
Yeah, two here, and then another person. She's sick,
Yeah.
and she was actually with me yesterday because she was not feeling good yesterday, and she wasn't sure about today. But there's another person coming in, and she should be coming soon. She'll be here for at least most of the time. She had planned to already be here. Then all of a sudden, she saw her schedule flipped out,
Okay.
and
I
I
hear
need to turn off something so
something.
I don't hear all this stuff in my ear. And I think it should be this.
Yeah, I'm closing.
Uh-huh.
She says.
Okay. Apparently she didn't see the code. There shouldn't be a code needed.
No, unless she clicked on the
I'm
wrong.
send now I'm resending it back down there. There. Because you use that same link, yes?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And it didn't ask me for a code or
No,
anything.
and it shouldn't.
I'm just closing some windows so I don't, it tells me that my computer is okay.
Okay, I'm gonna close this up. No, I can't close it up, but I can close this up. Okie dokie.
Mm.
And close this up. But hi, everybody, and welcome to Zoom in Comfort. Like I said, we're gonna have a good show for you this evening. It's gonna be really great. We have a really cool chef, Chef Robert Rainford, that I had the pleasure of kind of meeting. But I first saw him actually here in on TV. It was probably more than a decade ago, and it was on. He had a show called License to Grow. I think that's what it was called, License to Grow. And I was like enamored because I was like, oh. First it was in English, and it was when I first. No, it must have been when I first got him. It was in English. I was like, yay. He was a grill master. He grilled everything. That's everything was on that grill, and it was actually really cool. And then later on, I found out that it was the Food Network in Canada that they had here. So I thought that was really cool. And I kind of followed him after a while. He got on Facebook, so I kind of followed him there, and they got with Twitter and everything else. And then we wrote back and forth, and that's been ever since. So it has been a long time. I can't even say how many years it's been. And oh goodness, don't want to say either, because it's been many, 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 many. But how have you been doing? What's been going on with you, Shirley?
Oh, I've been busy, busy. Just last week, I was in Åre, which is northwest of, in the northwest part of Sweden. And it was just so magical, so beautiful, so much snow. And
Mm,
these my little two shop at all because the struggles you have to make walking through snow actually burned, and I was unzipping my coat because I got so warm.
in order.
Whatever. And it was like negative 15, 16 Celsius.
Wow.
But I mean, if you keep moving,
Hmm.
it's fine. I mean, one day it was like negative 20. That day I did stop in multiple stores. Oh,
This is store day.
like, let's go into this store. And I think I need to buy a scarf because at that point I needed something on my face. But
Oh man.
it was great. And I bought these wonderful ankle boots that comes with a key, and you flip it over and you get these spikes in the bottom of them. So if it's too hard to walk, you can then flip them over and then you get these spikes, and then you're really walking in the snow and not slipping.
I like that.
Yeah, and
I
they're bright
I
red.
they're bright red. So if something happened, oh, you gotta stick your foot out and they will find you.
That was my thought. I had a pink jacket and some bright red shoes.
There you go. There you go. That's right. Make yourself known and evident that you are. I am here in the white snow. See that red boot? That's
Yeah,
me.
and a hot pink jacket.
Yeah, yeah. So I got to get out of here.
Exactly.
And Shirley, this is Karen. Karen.
Hello,
Shirley.
Karen.
Hey Shirley, how are you doing?
I'm doing awesome. I'm doing great.
Great, great background.
Thank you. It's actually a picture of a area in Skellefteå, which is way, way north of Sweden. And I love it out there. It's really beautiful.
It's very pretty. Reminds me of New Hampshire a little bit.
Oh, I used to live in New Hampshire. So you're
Really?
right. Yeah. I used to live in Nashua, New Hampshire.
Oh wow, I went to summer camp up there.
Okay.
Old man of the mountain slid off the mountain. Did you see that? That was crazy.
No, I didn't.
That was the strangest thing. It's like it was a landmark. It's on their state quarter, and there he slid right off the mountain.
I
Apparently,
did.
for like
Out.
50 years, they'd been jerry rigging him up there.
God.
Who knew? It was the strangest thing.
Well, I quickly ended up moving to
Yeah.
Massachusetts, and I lived in Massachusetts for 20 years, where
Where?
and like Commonwealth Avenue, then Salem, Massachusetts, and then Marblehead, Massachusetts, and I had did my first pig roast. My first
Oh
pig
yeah, yeah,
roast
yeah, yeah.
in Massachusetts, in
I went
Marblehead.
to Wellesley and I went to Simmons, and my mother grew up in Boston, so I know that area very well as well.
It's a beautiful area.
I've been in Florida
Wow.
20 years, though. Enough of that snow.
Oh, and I'm talking about walking in the snow in northern part of Sweden.
No, yeah, I don't mind at all. I moved here from Chicago, but 20 years in Florida is enough to make you forget it.
Yeah.
That is. But I have not. I haven't been in either one of those places. I've just been here.
Well, you were in New York, that's for sure.
This is true. That
You
is an
look
experience.
fantastic, by the way, Jermaine. You look amazing.
Thank you.
It's just strange not to see somebody for like 30 years and then, like, boom, there you are. This is so cool.
It's like here I am. I'm just trying to get some folk in here because there's apparently something going on with Zoom this week. This is not the first time this happened with links.
Mhm.
So because this is like the
How did you
third.
end up overseas, Shirley?
What did you say?
How did you end up overseas?
Well, I mean, I met a guy in 2001. I imported him to Massachusetts. I brought him back home and we divorced. And then I found another one and wanted to stay. That's like the quick story.
That's a good, juicy, quick story. You packed a lot in there.
I said it was my turn to be the damn foreigner. So, and And it was my LinkedIn aspiration to have that I was working overseas. So since I was at Procter and Gamble, I was traveling all over the world, but I could not get that overseas assignment. So I said, I guess I got to marry somebody from another country.
That'll do it. Where were you raised? Where'd you go to high school?
Percy L. Julian in Chicago. And
Chicago, another
yeah,
great city.
yeah. And then soon after, high school, I was in Atlanta for a bit.
You've been around.
Yeah. And then, I was in Boston, New Hampshire area. And then when Gillette got bought by Procter and Gamble, I had commuted from Boston to Cincinnati for 2 years. So I lived in Cincinnati for Procter and Gamble. And then
I was in Chicago for 7 years. I loved Chicago. That's a good city. My husband wanted to move.
It's a good musical city. Yeah.
Oh, it's fantastic. I've never had the jazz and blues I had there. Good stuff there.
Exactly.
I want to go to Chicago.
Oh, Chicago's fantastic for music.
Yeah.
And food. Their food's
I heard that. I did hear that. I heard it was good music with food, and I was like,
and the best pizza.
Good pizza.
Don't talk
good
about
barbecue too.
The deep dish. No, on barbecue, I have to go to the South. I have to go.
Well, now, yes. But a lot of people in Chicago are from the South. You have a lot of South Memphis style barbecue there, a lot of Southern ones.
Those wing tips and those, the short ribs, the ring tips, the link sausages. You just made me forget, all of that. You're so right. And then, you get the white piece of bread that all the barbecue has set on top.
Yeah, the little tips on it.
And then you're like, okay, don't touch my bread. This is the only time you want the Wonder Bread, the white Wonder Bread, because it was all juicy with the sauce.
Chicago's pretty famous for their stockyards. They have a tremendous amount of barbecue going on there, and hot dogs. And the Polish have a lot of sausage factories there.
Yeah.
Weird meats. A lot of meats there.
Well, I'm the queen.
Meat is good.
I'm the queen of eating weird meat. I think, let's not even go there, or maybe we want to in this talk, because
why not? I'm all about interesting sausages, like the chicken and apple sausages, those kind of things.
Chicken and apple.
I have some friends that stuff their own. So they actually have sausage making machines in their house. People are insane. Speaking of Cincinnati, they'll fly up to Baltimore and Cincinnati and bring meat back down here to make their sausages.
Yeah, I can see that.
The only thing in their suitcases is frozen meat.
Well, because there's a lot of Germans in Cincinnati. So when it was like, the festivals, all I kept thinking, I remember being in Germany. No, I shouldn't say this on YouTube. I'm not.
Good edit. Edit on the fly.
We're just going to check stuff out.
Are we recording? Oh, we're
yes,
live.
We are.
And recording?
We are. Yes, we are live on YouTube.
That is
recording. Bet. All right.
No, I'm not recording yet. I was going to record in a few minutes.
Hello.
Give me some more on that one.
Lyota.
This is Lyota. Karen, you know Miss Shirley here.
I'm working, guys, believe it or not. So I'm working.
Oh, yes, you are. But I'm glad you're here and you're working.
I'll mute, but if you call me, I'll unmute and I'll talk. Okay, so you'll hear the.
What's the sign behind you on the wall? What is that?
There's a sign behind me?
That thing up there she's talking about.
What's that white, black?
Yeah, that. She's talking about that.
You want to see that? Okay, hold on.
Is that all your dues done?
It's the only thing in your Zoom background. I have to know what it is.
Yeah, all right. This was a photo shoot. It was just looking at a curl
hair
that we wanted.
Oh, wow.
Hair. Yeah, that's what it is.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
I like it.
That's it. Lovely curl, lovely head of hair. Yeah. So
she's in charge of my head. That's not my hair, but she's in charge of my head.
I'm gonna wipe my camera.
Oh, you're gonna make it pretty for now.
Oh, that's funny. Y'all making me check my Zoom background out.
But this is cool since we did start talking about meat.
Yeah. I every country I go to, I'm always trying to try something different, like from China to, different parts of China to Poland. I'm always pushing the envelope because when I grew up, I was a vegetarian.
Mhm.
And I almost starved in college. So I said, okay, I'm going to eat meat. But I like to sound like I was much better than, I was like, oh, if I'm going to eat meat, I'm going to I'm going to celebrate the animal. I'm going to eat all parts of the animal. Um, literally.
Ambitious.
Because my mother wouldn't wear leather shoes. She was a vegetarian. So she was like, if I'm a vegetarian, I won't wear a leather, purse or have leather shoes.
Mhm.
Do you wear leather now?
Girl, I eat meat. I won't even count how many furs, but
Fur.
This is hilarious. Shameless meat eaters. I like it.
yeah, I am contributing to the CO2 of the environment. I am sorry, but I have no kids, so I'm reducing that part of the CO2.
Jermaine, I have another member.
Mhm, mhm,
No Kin Collective. I have a group of people gathered together online with no kids, and like it's called the No Kin Collective, and we do things people with kids can't. So
You know what?
cool page.
Add me.
I will do that. I'd be glad to.
Yeah, I swear, with COVID coming around, I'm walking around and I'm like, oh my God, the germ carrying human beings. That's what I call them.
If you tell me you drink scotch, I'll be here every week at 11.
Oh my God, yes, I'm a scotch and a whiskey. Give me my brown
Scotch
liquor.
and meat eater. Oh my, where have you guys been all my life?
I was in Boston.
Karen, yeah, she been in Boston. We were like,
How did I miss y'all?
I don't know.
Well, here we are.
Ciao.
So,
Well, yes, but yeah, I was just telling them, Shirley, actually, about Rob and how I had met him. Well, met him, but like I said, he used to be on TV here. Like when I first got here, he was from Food Network Canada, and he was like it was like, oh, there's a black guy on TV and he's speaking English. That's all I thought initially. And he was a chef, and he did everything. I was telling you, he did everything on the grill, vegetables and all, and it was like amazing. And then I finally connected with him on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, and it was just fantastic. And that is who we're going to meet right now, because he'll be popping in.
yeah, oh, the R man.
The R man, Chef Rob Rainford, everybody. How are you, Rob?
Very good. It's
Glad
morning. It's morning.
Yeah.
So, but somewhere it's time for that, and that's
it's always
here.
time. It's always time.
I feel like I should get myself some brown liquor now,
You should. You should. I'll have some with you. I have apple juice if you want to. It's not brown liquor, but close.
You can pretend.
It's not that kind of call, is it?
It's recorded and live.
Okay. Fair enough.
But you can still do what you choose. You're adults.
Yeah, it is Saturday.
It's recorded and live.
All right, I'll be good.
It would not be evidenced in any way, shape, or form.
I'll be good.
It ain't that kind of place.
I'll be good, man. I'll be good.
It's the secret between only us 5 individuals.
There you go.
Fair enough.
God willing, life is long, so it's recorded and live.
Yeah, thank you very much. I get that one. 100%.
Oh my gosh. It's like, no, you don't have to say anything. Shh, no one's going to say anything. Shh.
You know how it is. Your tongue gets a little loose after a couple. You know how it is. I did bring a backup just in case.
Wow, check this guy out. This is great. We need to do one unrecorded and not live.
I don't want to have to go to the fridge, Pete.
I hear you. Oh, actually, yeah, because I'm actually going to have to pop up, but I'm not going to do it right now because I want to get into you. Rob, please tell us about yourself, even though I gave a little pinch of how I kind of found you. And I don't know if I ever told you. Did you know?
No. I was wandering the streets. Just tell the story.
And someone started stalking you.
You tell us the story first, and then I'll reiterate.
Now it sounds like a stalking thing, and I don't want to say it. No, actually, it wasn't. Actually, when I got here to Sweden, of course, you kind of watch TV and you're waiting to hear something in English, and you happen to be on Sundays. your show, License to Grill, was on Sunday afternoons or evenings. And I was so happy because the first things I said, oh, black guy and he's speaking English. Yes. That's like, top. And I was like, and he's cooking. Ah. And I was like dedicated. I watched everything. I watched you grill everything. I was just amazed and loved it. I loved your demeanor. I loved how you worked. I loved how you did it. And I just became enamored and a fan. And I was like, okay, I gotta get, this is great. And then there were no more series, and then it stopped. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I
And
died.
yeah, kind of. And but then I think I discovered you again. I didn't even, it was probably haphazardly. I think I was like, oh, I wonder where that, Rob Rainford guy. And I looked for you on Facebook, and that's when I found you again. And I think I wrote to you and you wrote back. And I thought to myself, is that actually him or like one of his people? But it didn't matter to me because I got a letter back. And I think I continued on, I think. And then ultimately it was like Twitter and Instagram. And then we wrote to each other a lot. I think something we were talking about back and forth on Twitter. And that's when it was like sealed. I was no longer a fan. I was a friend. It's like, yes.
There you go. That makes sense to me. That all makes. I know two words in Swedish though, or wherever you're. Matt Sundin. He's a hockey player, Matt Sundin. That's it.
See,
I had you for half a second. You're like, oh, really?
It's like, man, I thought actually words. And the person I was like, I don't know him. I don't watch hockey.
I know nothing. I barely know English.
But tell us about you. Tell us about yourself.
All right.
And how you began.
All right. It happened in the year of our Lord, 1966. I was born in a little shack. No, I was born in Jamaica. I came to Canada. He came to Canada when I was 3 years old from Jamaica. Again, in my household, everybody is to hold a degree. If you do not hold a degree, you are nobody. I am not university ready, or I went to university and was promptly asked to leave. But my passion was always food, but it wasn't fostered in my home because, my parents didn't bring me from Jamaica to become an indentured servant, and that's how they perceive food. To some degree, I think they still perceive it that way, but I hopefully over this period of time, they're 87 years old now, so I don't think I'm going to change their outlook on things very much. But by the same token, I'm living my passion. I'm living my dream. I was teaching at college in Toronto when I had a producer take my course, and at the end of the course they said, listen, you're not ugly and you speak English. Would you like to give TV a shot? So that was my foray. Again, remember, telegenics, people don't understand, you can be a mutt and, you got the face for radio, or you can, look half decent, but you can't do what you need to, or you say you can do, and you're great on TV. I kind of think that I'm a bit of a hybrid, not the ugliest man on the planet, but by the same token, I have this passion for food, and I want to give it to as many people as possible. My first day of culinary school, I was always like, as soon as I learned the skill, I wanted to teach it to someone else. So that's the type of person I am. I don't want to hoard. I don't want to, keep it for me, because what good does that do? Go spread the word. And I don't want to be one of those gospel guys, the new converts who, you shouldn't be talking about religion right now. You know what I mean? You should digest a little bit of information first and then go. But for me personally, I am not, I'm living my life. I'm living out loud. So that's the best part of my life. I don't have to hide anything about myself. I am, warts and all. You like it, you like it. You don't, you don't. And that's what the internet has done for me now. I'm not told what to say. On License to Grill, it was a formula. The food was all mine, but every premise for every show, I had nothing to do with that. There wasn't a consult. I was like, oh, Rob, this is going to be good. I wore a toga once, and that's as close to a dress as a person can get to me. And my thing was, I will not wear a dress on TV because I don't need to. Dave Chappelle said it but every comedian has worn a dress to be, not just to be famous, but at some point they think it's funny. And for me, it wasn't great. That's not great humor for me. But now You know, it's a Zoom meeting, ladies. I will not stand up.
I did put on, you know, my husband says, all you have to do is wear the top. I said, no, I'm dressing up for after this as well. He says, where are you going? I said, to the bar, the kitchen bar. And I hope my cocktail is ready.
I love your backdrop.
Thank you.
I have my green screen up, but my wife said, take it down.
Oh,
I know. She goes, what are you going to put a library behind you? You never read a book.
this,
Dang. All right. I said, all right.
This is harsh.
Whatever. I said, you're right. When you're right, you're right. You know, come on. I'm not
I like this. Like I said, when we turn around the kitchen background.
Yeah,
is cool.
this is my environment. This is where I spend most of my time.
Yes,
in
this
COVID.
is true.
Yeah.
Yes, this is true. If you guys had everyone had like, especially look around, check him out on Instagram. He is his practice of cooking and the meals that he puts up. And I'm like, you know, you need to stop, because I think I think I'd even spoken to Lyota when it came to this, because I said he made sorrel. And she was like, who? What? Who? I said, that chef. Remember I told you he was coming? She's like, oh, okay. Well, okay. Because, you know, as most of us know, Lyota, who is also Jamaican, and I am Jamaican born, not Jamaican born, but Jamaican
heritage. How's that? Heritage.
In heritage, yes. My dad, actually, he was born in Spanish Town, Jamaica, and raised in Cuba. And he can't hear you because you're on mute.
I know, because this is blow dryer on. Yeah, but that's your parents.
Yes, true.
It's not like
true.
back generation.
Mm-hmm. But and I remember telling her, and she was like, "Ooh, okay," you know. But he has made such wonderful meals, and I put them up there, so you got to go check those out. But what made you continue on after that, after License to Grill? What did you do after that? I'm going to step away for 1 second.
Yeah, I'm a pilot boy. I've had about, since the show ended in 2011, I've had like 5 different pilots, 5 different projects that just haven't come to fruition because of whatever issues have come up. So, you know, now I've said, listen, I'm just going to do it myself. I'm own my own production company now, developed it myself. I have one partner, that's it. Basically, I will be doing a new television show on a network. It'll be Discovery in the United States out of LA. And that's a project that as soon as this pandemic slows down a bit where I can travel, I will be doing that again. So the stuff that I'm doing here at home is just kind of almost in practice for that. I'm just giving myself every opportunity to cook. I cook every day. I take pictures of food every day. Okay. Like there's not one day goes by without it.
What do you do with the food? Do you give it to
somebody? My wife and I. My wife, I have 2 daughters that are basically
interesting meals for your family.
Yeah, that's it. But we eat everything, no matter what it is. Are you smoking something? Oh, that's a drink. Sorry. I'm like, can I have some too? I thought it was a little bong that you could light.
Oh, you started this by saying it's recorded and live. No, I'm good.
Damn it. I don't do that stuff.
But you know, I'm sitting there and I'm thinking like you eat everything, and so you have to take it 2 ways. It's like you eat and clean the plate, and then you should, you know, I don't know how you look pretty thin, so I'm wondering what is that secret, or
that's
you
right.
just the top part, yeah. Or the other part is like right before you came on here, I said, when I grew up, I was a vegetarian, but when I said in college, I'm going to start eating meat and I'm going to eat every part of an animal, which I think I have successfully eaten almost every part of an animal.
Okay, we can go there, but let's stop. It's live and recorded. Yes, I got it.
Oh, God.
But no, there are tasty, you know, many different tasty dishes out there that you can grill. And so that's where I was thought, you know, you being a chef, that you're not afraid of different things. You know, you can try different type of cuisines and then, you know, make your own spin on it.
That's exactly what I do. The show gave me an opportunity to go to 64 different countries. I traveled throughout Asia. The Asian Food Channel brought me over for a small tour where I did Singapore, Manila, and Malaysia. And it was like a wonderful eye-opening experience, just being able to see open air food that I don't get in Toronto. Toronto is like, it's a very multicultural city, but by the same token, we're very limited in the styles of cuisine. And then when you go lower, it tends to not be as grandiose. And it's not, food doesn't have to be grandiose for me to go in and try it, but smells are really important to me. And cleanliness is the most important thing to me. So, not every place I'll want to eat at. I'm a clean freak.
Matters too.
Yes, 100%, 100%. But again, I just enjoy, I like exploring. And again, I know that I'm Jamaican, so that's always going to be sort of my baseline. Those foods, that culture sort of permeates everything that I do in life, no matter what. You make a pasta, but there's always a place to twist it and put a little spin on it from where I come from. So just little small things.
Rasta pasta.
Yeah, yes, yeah. But again, I don't think jerk goes in everything. Jerk and tomato sauce. No. Yeah, no.
I think the best kind of street food I had was actually, I think I was in Hawaii, and they were selling the food out of the trunk of their car. And so, I was a little scared, but luckily, I didn't get a tummy ache or anything. It was like roti bread and some, dirty rice and some, like, I think I forget what kind of meat it was. And it was tasty.
You're adventurous.
This sounds like Queens, actually. Yeah.
That's fair.
I think I remember every meat. I think I remember the meat that I had, hopefully.
Yeah.
I think the strangest meat was probably when I got here. So it was like what? Wild boar, and I think wild boar.
So Jermaine, I need to take you to China.
You know what? Maybe not.
you get some Wuhan, Sorry.
I have my favorite hole in the walls in Shanghai, and I have a driver that I can rent for a whole day.
Mm-hmm.
That turns out to be, if I think it's like 600 Swedish kroners. So it becomes like $60 a day, US dollars. Mm-hmm. And he would take me to and I'm the only Westerners in some of these places looking for pig feet that's chopped up really spicy. Mm-hmm. And they're like, who is this girl coming in here? The menus they're not in English at all, but I heard about this place and I would go there like twice in 1 week to just pig out, literally.
I have not. No. My cousin sold pig feet, and
You can't do it.
It's a tough smell.
I couldn't. The jar, I was like, wow. She goes, no, but you can eat one. I'm sure I could. Yeah. Just not going to happen right now. Not everything needs to go.
It doesn't matter. But again, be adventurous, but within your scope of what you feel you're comfortable with.
But it's a big cuisine in the northern part of Sweden as well.
Yeah. I think when I went to India, I'm sure there was stuff that I was eating. I did not know what it was there. Okay. I had to think about it because I was never actually told what things were. I was just told what not to take. So we went to this huge wedding and my friend's going around and his mom is taking me around and she goes, okay, take that. Take that. No, don't take that. Take that. I was like, okay.
Thank you. Say thank you.
Oh yeah, almost definitely. All the time. That's all I said was like, okay, I'm with it. I'm with it. I'm not taking anything for granted here. But tell us, if you haven't already, because I know I stepped away for a second. Are we still grilling? Because we were talking about meat way earlier. We were talking about like big meat, all meat. And so what is the last meat that you grilled or cooked up?
Grilled outside. I guess last week I just did ribs the other day, but I did a big roast outside actually. So I do like the spinalis muscle, which is on top of the ribeye. Mm-hmm. It's such a flavorful and interesting textured meat because regular mussels that have just sort of the intercostal fat, like marbling. It's good, but I love braised meats. I don't know why I love them more than the other styles of meat, because I don't mind eating a medium rare steak, but if I had a choice and they said, listen, you only can have this or that, I would take something that cooks slower and broke down over a longer period of time, just for me personally.
I second that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
I grill everything. I grill everything. But it's cold here, man. It's like minus something. I'm not going out there. I used to be a guy that goes out in every kind of weather. But what am I proving?
You were just out there a few days ago, though.
I was. But again, sometimes you just feel you don't want to do it. And today, I'm not doing it.
No, today I don't think any of us did. I think except Karen, how is it there? It's okay. It's sunny there.
It's gorgeous. It's 70 degrees. I live in paradise.
Where is paradise?
Where's paradise?
St. Petersburg, Florida.
Oh, okay. All right. Trump country.
No, we went blue. The rest of the state went red. Pinellas County was blue.
Yeah, fair enough.
All right.
We're like Austin in Texas.
Fair enough.
Blue dot in the red state.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I had to put the politics in there because at least the American's going to get their back up quicker than anybody else. I like
My
that.
job does not allow me a political opinion, and I won't even smile at the jokes. So
Fair enough.
sorry. I
Good
can't do
for
that.
you. Good for you. Good for you. Awesome. I am Canadian. We're the Switzerland of the world. We stand on the fence. We stand on the fence of everything. We don't have an army that can even protect us from our big brother, down south. But it's good though. We're good.
Okay, well that's good. That's good. So tell me more. Now you have also a book. You also wrote a book.
I wrote 3 books.
3.
Yeah.
Okay. See, this is how back I am. I only.
That's okay. No. Well, two for License to Grill, and Born to Grill is my last book that I produced here in 2014, and I have 2 more commissioned to do. Natural Born Griller and the Grill of My Dreams.
Wow.
So
What's the Natural Born Griller about?
A Natural Born Griller is basically all the things that you from nature that nobody thinks that they could put on a grill. So it's more of a vegetarian-based book. I am not a vegetarian. I'm a meatitarian, but again, I just kind of wanted to make it more approachable because I've gotten so many comments. People are saying, "Oh my God, like if you just put a vegetable, I would watch you, or I would,
What you do?
That's a big thing out here in the beaches in Florida. When we have our big grills, we do pineapple and watermelon. Grilled watermelon's like a thing.
Yeah.
We do pink lemonade soaked chicken wings on the grill, and then usually serve that with grilled watermelon.
Yeah, it works.
Lemonade soaked in chicken, or chicken soaked in pink lemonade?
Pink lemonade chicken wings are like the best thing ever down here.
They have a Mountain Dew one too. I just saw that on TikTok. I mean, listen, go for it. I don't care. I'm just, if I'm going to go on the grill, I like to do a little bit of a marinade, but outside of that, salt, pepper, those are my 2 friends. Yeah. And if you want to go sticky, then you do the honey and lemon, like real fresh lemon juice. Wonderful combination with a little garlic.
My favorite on the grill is broccoli on the grill, and I like it to have be a little charred. So I put it on a skewer, and I use a fresh, use butter and fresh lemon juice with a little bit of citron pepper, and I make a sauce. And because you want the butter and the flames to get on the broccoli, and then it's getting this buttery lemon citron flavor, and it is so tasty and it's crispy. And
that sounds amazing.
It's a delight. That's my favorite thing. And fresh fish on the grill.
Yes, but fish is a little harder for most people because if the temperature is not proper or not high enough, it'll stick.
Yeah.
So you'll lose your skin, and if it's too low, then obviously, again, it's really precarious. Those are the things that I think if you're going to move to the next generation or next level, then you start doing stuff like that. But there's things you can eliminate that with, like putting mats down on your grill.
Yeah.
Planks. We use cedar planks, like these real thin
cedar planks. Yep.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Those fish grill things that you can put the fish in, and so you can turn it over.
Like a little basket.
Yeah, a little basket.
Yeah.
because and then I pour usually a lot of olive oil because I want the flames to crisp up the
Skin.
skin. Yeah. So my husband.
You're all about the crisping. I could tell you're all about the crispy part.
I have to have different textures because the inside of the fish is flaky, but the skin is crispy.
Yes, yeah. So it has to be crispy skin. Has to be. You can't be gummy and then soft and yeah. And if it is, you just take it off and you just eat just all flesh. If you're not going to get that crispy exterior.
And what is also great if I actually lay out fresh. What is the English word of this, Jermaine? The salvia.
Salvia? Sage.
Sage, thank you. Fresh
sage.
Mm-hmm. The leaves on it, I put that across, and when that gets crispy, it makes a little spicy flavor on the fish. So
that's good. Those are all good. I should be writing all this stuff down and I'll steal all your ideas. You know, that's my new book. All original ideas. All original.
I'm gonna check
ideas from all over the world.
Yeah, we use the sage.
I have a question that someone had sent in. Actually, they just went directly to me, and they were like, "Oh, he's Canadian. I want to hear about poutine."
Want to hear about what?
I don't poutine. Poutine.
Oh, poutine. Oh, poutine.
Poutine. Okay.
Oh,
See,
yeah.
I didn't even know how to pronounce it.
It's French fries with cheese curds and gravy. That's it. It's from Quebec. It's the other side.
The other
so
side.
we have the Anglo side of Canada. We have the French side.
And the French side.
But the poutine is like, that's a staple late night when you're leaving the club. And I'm 54 years old. I haven't left a club in a long time, but you know how it is when you used to leave a club. Great late night food.
Is it?
Great. And we have poutine.
Huh?
Yeah, they're just made. Again, they're all prepared. Like I like things that I can make myself, and those cheese curds are really hard to make by yourself. I'd have to study it to do it properly. But it's like kind of like a buffalo mozzarella.
Okay.
Okay.
That melts on the fries.
So the cheese curd, because when you said cheese curd, I thought of like paneer, paneer cheese. Mm-hmm. Like the Indian cheese, because they call that a curd, but this is more like mozzarella that it melts.
It melts, yeah, it does. It doesn't melt completely. It stays pretty much in its whole state, but as it warms through, yeah, it could melt completely, but it doesn't. Technically, you just put it on, pour the gravy on top. So fries, cheese curds, gravy, out.
Wait, what's this gravy? Gravy on your fries?
It's just yeah. It's
what kind of gravy?
It's like a brown gravy, yeah. So
all right, my Italian family calls that a tomato sauce. I was checking which
gravy. No, not that type of gravy. This is basically using a roux, so flour and butter and a beef stock. And but these guys just generally have it's all prepared already. Do you guys have those little OXO cubes or bouillon cubes? Yes. So you can use that as well with a little flour and butter and mix it out so it's kind of thick.
On French fries and cheese?
Yeah.
Boy, that's hangover food. You're not kidding.
Wow. Yeah, it is. 100%. If you Google that, you'll give it a shot. If you give that a shot, I know you'll like it.
But you see the chef part of him. He started off before he told us about the cube. He said, use a little jus.
Yeah. I know. I have stocks all the time. I'm always.
So at that point, forget about the cubes. Every time we're making meat, save that so we can make a jus.
Can I ask you how you save your stock? How do you save your stock?
So I'll make chicken stock and beef stock once or twice a week because I'm always making soups and everything else. But I freeze it. Actually, 1 second.
Good question.
He stood up. Cover your eyes.
Hang on 1 second.
You stood up.
I just went to my fridge. I keep it in my Ziploc baggies, my stock.
Okay.
All right. Gotcha. So yeah, you can freeze this. So if you put it into the smaller ones, then you can just pull out what you need if you're just going to make a soup or for 2 people or 3 people. I'll be back.
That's a great idea.
I know.
You saw nothing.
I know, and I have a lobster stock in there too as well right now. I'm doing a bisque tomorrow.
Yeah, that's what my husband does. He saves all the shells from all the seafood, and then he boils it and make a stock out of it, and then he freezes it. So whenever we're making a seafood kind of chowder or whatever.
Yeah, I don't use the cubes really, but I know people ask me all the time, can I use it? I go, listen, if you don't have 3 hours to make a chicken stock, or 8 hours to make a beef stock. Of course you can use it, but is the profile the same? I would suggest no, but is it close enough for you? If depending on your palate, go for it. Go for it. I don't want to eat it, but I mean, you could eat it.
There's some judgment in there, depending on your palate.
That's what your palate will accept, you know. Mine is a little bit.
I'm spoiled. Listen, I'm spoiled.
It's true.
I'm spoiled. I did it to myself, man. Like I said, when I was a kid in the 70s, I know my mom never said, "Oh, and what color would you like your steak, Robert?" It was gray like everybody else's. Well done. Yes, and we didn't have those types of steaks either. We just had like blade steaks, things that you had to cook the, you know what out.
Yeah.
So it is what it is.
Yes. So what is your favorite protein? You know, is it beef, pork, you know, fowl, you know, like chicken or?
Oh, no, that's hard. That's like saying, what's your favorite kid? If you have more than one.
I have kids.
I have 3 daughters, man. I have 3 daughters, so I can't say which one, but I like them all. It's just different moods.
Yeah.
Different moods for different things.
I would have to say pork for me. It's like I can have all kinds of pork, but just like you said earlier, I'm not a big steak eater. I'm more of a long cook, you know, braised, cooked type of red meat. Or I steer away from steaks.
Yeah, again, but it depends on the mood. I think, you know, summertime you feel a different way, and like in winter you want that comfort food a little bit more. Although, I mean, I'll have a stew at any time during a year. I don't care. Stews would probably be one of the things that I like making the most. Everybody still there?
Yeah.
All right, I'm just looking across the top here. What are we?
No, I have one person that has to dip out. Karen has to dip out because she has work.
You take care. Pleasure meeting you, Karen.
All the best to everyone. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Take care now.
Now we're going to talk about you. Anyway.
And that Trump is what a best.
Yeah, no, her job kind of her job does. It prevents her from having anything politically to say.
What does she do?
She can't say.
Yeah.
What can I say? Perfect. Then we'll leave it at that. We'll leave it at that. Yes.
She's great. We've known each other since I think we were 12 or 13 years old. So.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
That's good. No. I don't want to offend anybody.
And not at all. And you didn't at all.
I always wanted to work for the CIA, and then when I moved to Sweden, I wanted to work at Säpo, which is the Swedish version of CIA. And my husband, at that time, my boyfriend, his apartment was right behind Säpo. And I said, "Oh, I can check in with Facebook check-in at Säpo."
No, not even that. Wasn't even funny to him. Wow.
Säpo, yes.
No, that's not. Yeah, I can see that there's no humor in that one for sure.
Please don't do that.
That's okay. That's good. I like.
So out of all the meals that you have made, okay, not all of them. Okay, the meals that you have made in the last maybe since. I can honestly say since the pandemic, because you say, you know, that started making you get more on social media and start preparing your stuff. And now you're starting to do little IG films of you cooking and grilling and making all this food. Which one of those things were like the best for you to make?
Okay, I'll be honest. I like the pork shoulder, so jerk pork.
Mm-hmm.
And the girls love that the best. When I make it, it literally comes in and they just start attacking it before I even, you know, because you can twist the bone out, so that means you can just start pulling at it. And I love watching them. It's like at the trough. Go for it, girls. Just keep eating.
I do not think they're going to appreciate you saying at the trough.
But I'm their dad, so they understand. They've had 19 and 21 years to deal with me now. I'm not everybody's cup of tea, but I'm theirs for sure.
For sure. No, for sure. So what was the most difficult?
Difficult. Again, talking about the spinalis muscle on the rib, on the prime rib. I took it off, and I didn't know if I was going to just try to sear it quickly or braise it. And I've never really braised it before. So I had a comment on Facebook or Instagram. I go, that looks like well done. It looks overcooked. I'm like, no, do you understand? Like, you can take a muscle that has a lot of what I would say collagen inside. That when collagen breaks down, it actually starts to thicken up sauces, and it just has a different textural feel on your tongue. So I wanted to have that aesthetic. So I treated it more like a brisket than I did a fast grilling steak. And not many people have ever really done that with it. So it was kind of like I posted it. I knew I wasn't going to get, like everybody saying, oh, that's great, that looks, but whatever, you experiment, you try different things. So I'm just, for me right now, I'm just in an exploration phase. I'm having fun. Nobody's telling me what to do. I don't care. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. I know everybody here eats it, so I'm good.
I would love to ask you a question. I've done pig roast, never done a lamb roast, but what is your secret? Have you done one? And what is your secret? I'm assuming maybe you have, because you're the grill master. What is your secret of getting the seasoning all throughout the meat rather than just on the top of the skin, like all, fused throughout?
Yeah, that's a process of 2 to 3 days of actual putting the spices literally all throughout the pig. Like, flip it over. You can even get under the skin a little bit if you can. Not in all places, but under the legs you can get under a bit. You can't really get all the way through the ribs, but you really do have to season it and let it sit. It'll absorb all those flavors. Because remember, on a pig, you have loin meat, you've got shank meat, you've got like literally every single style of and texture of meat is on a pig. So again, when it's cooking, some's going to fall off the bone, like the Boston butt area, right? Which is actually a shoulder. And then, you get the hocks, which are down by the shanks, the rump, completely different texture. So to me, it's it's worthy of your skill level if you can marinate it properly and then cook it evenly over an open flame. That's the hard part. I would not say that cooking a whole pig is easy.
That's what I was gonna say, because I kept thinking, like, even in Hawaii, when they have those they when they dig the hole and put it down there to cook,
It's
and
on
they
a roast.
No, the ones when they bury it in the green leaves and put it underground.
Barbacoa.
Yeah, and coal. I'm thinking, how did, doesn't something get done before the other piece? I mean, I understand everything falls apart once it comes out.
Yes, that's different though. That's exactly what you just said is exactly the principle there. That it's all going to cook, and some will fall off the bone, and some will be, put it this way: you're not going to get a medium rare piece or a medium piece on that. It's all well done. Yeah. I mean, I'm in the Philippines where they do lechon, which is basically the same process that you're doing, right? So in Hawaii, they barbacoa which is the root word of barbecue, which means pit. You can dig a hole, put the coals down, cover it, and then it's cooked. In the Philippines, they have basically either on a spit or they just have a rod that just sits over heat, and they just keep turning it and turning it and turning it for 18 hours. And it's just, and the skin becomes like that wonderful, rich, crunchy, it's just, I tell you, when you eat that stuff, sometimes you can overindulge yourself, but it's a treat. You don't do it every day.
I've done it a couple of times. One where we took an old garbage can and made it into a pit and then turned it over. And then one time in Anegada off the British Virgin Island. But then I wanted to try a baby lamb. And so how would you, because the meat is completely different, right? How would you, what's your...
Lamb is a higher temperature in order to get, because the muscle is much tighter bound together. So again, like on a steak or on a piece of ground beef or meat is 125 degrees internal temperature for medium rare. For lamb, it's 145 degrees for medium rare. Wow. So you just have to make that adjustment in your cooking time. That's basically all it is. Okay. I hope I'm not simplifying things, because I know that, when you're out there, like that's the problem when I find with most people in terms of recipes that I read, they don't give you the nuance. They just tell you here A, B, and C, but what's going to happen in between A to be. That's kind of that's where I live. I live in between the raindrops.
Mhm.
Yeah. I
No,
mean,
but that's a good thing. Go
I've
ahead.
been
Sorry.
lucky to have people who were in the restaurant business that they allow you to put a pig in there for 2 days and you can go and rub it. And then it's kind of like, okay, but in Sweden, I don't have friends in restaurants that would allow me to put a pig or a lamb in there.
No, that's not, you can't accomplish that one on your own. For me, I have 2 freezers downstairs and I have a fridge. So I have my standard fridge for here, and then anything downstairs, I can do whatever I want. I can age my meat if I want. So I do sometimes 45-day age. It's hard when somebody sees a cut of meat come into the house and they're going, "Oh, we get to eat that?" No, yes, you do. But in 45 days, you get to eat that,
How you age meat? I really want to know that. That I don't know how to do.
That's just a simple process. If you have a baking sheet and a rack and you can put meat on top of it, open air dried, or with a cheesecloth, if you want to, wet it with a little bourbon, you can just allow it to, it's not rotting, but you're allowing it to, the enzymes to break down. And so that meat will go from that hue of that reddish to like a bruised color, which is more purplish. And then again, that the enzymes are breaking it down, and then you trim it off. The aroma will be slightly nutty. Some people don't like that flavor profile or that smell, but it actually, when you have that meat, it tastes so different, because we're used to eating green meat, and green meat is just fresh kills within the month you're eating it. Or wet aging. It's not the same. Dry aging it's once you taste that kind of meat, you probably won't go back the other way.
Yeah, I bought dried, but I didn't know how to do it. I've just been so impressed, especially when you go to Spain.
Yes.
So
but again, you have to dry age properly, though. It has to be, the humidity has to be there as well, and you have to be at 4 degrees. But no, the variance is about 2 degrees up, so 6 degrees Celsius. But you really don't want to get any higher than that, because then you start to it'll rot. And remember, for basic cooking practices, if you have meat that's left out for 4 hours in the danger zone, which is anything above your fridge temperature to below 100 degrees, you can hurt yourself. So it's super important to do it like in a controlled environment, and do a little research on it. Even if you had a small little one of those bar fridges and you had something small enough, you could do it in that.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Great.
That's smart, because I was thinking, ooh, and I was like, maybe not, because I don't have a place. Even though it's cold enough, we could probably put it outside, but it has
You
to be
might
controlled.
attract something. Some wild animal.
Well, I would cover it.
A wild animal might be.
I was thinking my stuga that Lyota stayed in. I said, "Oh, that's not insulated, so we could stay there 45 days and try to."
No, I don't think so.
So we'd love to hear some tips when, because we're in Sweden, right? And there is hard to find some really good barbecue sauce. And so sometimes I'm trying to make my own. Now, Lyota and Jermaine are probably much better cooks than I, but I don't think I'm so bad. But just some tips of like a really quick barbecue, and then one that you're putting more love and time in it, that it has like at least 2 to 3 dimensions.
Well, again, you have 2 choices. So you have the ketchup based, or you have the tomato based. So if you have San Marzano tomatoes, which are probably the best canned tomatoes in the world that you get from Italy, if you made a quick tomato sauce out of that, so onions, garlic, sweat, tomatoes into your pot, cook them down. Add a vinegar, so a red wine vinegar, or even a white wine vinegar will work in that application as well, and molasses. You've got yourself a barbecue sauce, quick, down and dirty. You can do the same approach, omit the San Marzano tomatoes, the whole cooking tomatoes, and use tomato ketchup and a little bit of brown sugar. And I would add brown sugar to the other one as well, and just allow them to cook. The tomato ketchup one, 20 minutes, and you have a barbecue sauce. And liquid smoke. I'm not a huge fan of liquid smoke, but if you need that, and I don't think you need it, but some people, oh, it's not authentic unless it has that. I find it so fake. So, it's so pronounced that and again, if you go over by just a third of a drop, you've ruined everything. So again, tomato based or ketchup based barbecue sauces, they're easy. And if you Google Rob Rainford and barbecue sauce, I have some already online that you could take a look at. It's in my last book.
I'm stalking you on the internet already. I'm on
because I placed all your links in the bottom section there. I went searching. I was like, oh, he got that too. Here, let me put that. Oh, here is some he might not know about now.
Put in Rob Rainford jerk, and you'll see what comes up.
Okay.
But yeah, my jerk sauce comes up in there as well, because that's another thing. As a Jamaican, jerk means something to a lot of people, right? Though it has to be sort of that real muddy kind of look to it. And I like mine just a little bit more on the citrusy side. So I add a little bit more lemon juice and lime juice to mine, and orange juice. Now, traditionally, that's not going to be one of those things that you see. But I said, like in Italy, from north to south, everything changes, and no one complains about it. But when we talk about like our little small island, you say one thing that's out of tune,
they go crazy.
Sacrilegious. Oh, we don't do that. What do you mean we don't do that?
Carrots in your curry goats, they go kill you or your oxygen.
Yes. Yeah, I get you. Listen, I had a debate yesterday, and maybe I can ask you three. When you buy your chicken and you are just about to start cooking with it, do you wash your chicken?
Yes.
All right. I know you're a yard person. Next, come on, next person. Usually, yes.
Yes.
And last but not least, go ahead.
Yeah, I said
yes. Now, why do you wash your chicken?
Well, it depends on what country I'm in. Because then I feel if I wash it when I think there's a smell, even though the chicken is fresh and I know I just feel a little bit more comfortable washing it. But when I was in certain parts of the US, and if it was farm raised or different kind of a chicken, I felt I didn't have that need to wash the chicken, because I felt like our bodies are so used to having all these antibacteria stuff that, certain things is okay. So it all depends on the chicken, I guess.
Okay, fair enough. I accept your response. The other two, what are your responses?
Okay, I have to define wash. Because then I had to think about it.
Not the laundry, right? Put it on the spin cycle.
Because I mean, I know people who like wash, literally, like put it under there and soak it in a bunch of water and rinse. I don't do that. No. What I normally would do, it might not be wash actually. I just kind of like, I just put it under. If I'm rinsing something off of it, which is not all the time. Like if I'm taking on the leg and thigh, under the thigh, if I'm taking like that coagulant from between that rib, that's pretty much where the water actually hits. I just take that out, and that's with water. So I don't wash it.
Okay, fair enough. No,
I just take that out, and then I'm cool. If it feels, it rarely feels like slimy enough for me to like, ooh, I need to like bathe this. So I think that's it.
Good answer. And last but not least.
I wash my chicken.
What do you do, Lyota?
So yes, I submerge it in water and I put some type of citrus, if it's lemon, grapefruit, orange, whatever.
You're talking really low, so I can't hear you.
And some kind of citrus fruit, whether it's grapefruit, whether it's lemon, orange, something of that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, fair enough.
While, and then I'll swish it around, and then I'll pour the water off, and I'll do one more, and that's it.
Okay, and now how about I give you just my brief, slightly educated position on this, and it's only because I taught at a college level and I've watched a ton of BBC documentaries on it. If you wash your chicken, so if you have water splash on the chicken skin and that hits your faucet, or if that hits you, that hits the walls, you're now tracking that salmonella bacteria throughout your kitchen.
That I knew.
Lemon juice, vinegar, salt, any of the acids don't kill bacteria. They do absolutely nothing to kill bacteria, because most of the bacteria that would hurt you is in the middle near the bone.
Mm.
So any joint that's moving, you can't wash that.
No.
Okay, and it's just, and I think it's not an old wives' tale, but I know that our parents did it, which in turn now we do it. But it's a practice that I would love people to stop doing. But I put it in my comments on IG on Wednesday. I got death threats on.
Oh, I didn't read those. I saw it, but I was like,
yeah, Facebook, everything. The guy was like, listen, I'll never eat from you again. One person said LAWD Lod. I'm like, yeah, what kind of Jamaican are you? And I gave them, I said, listen, these are practices that cause more harm than good. And again, you don't have to listen. If you're going to wash your chicken, I'm not going to stop you from doing that. But I am telling you that here's a reason why you should probably not do that. And I gave tangible, logical arguments. So those are the things that I want people to take away more so than, I'm telling you what to do or how to do it. I'm just giving you the reference point because I know, have you guys watched any YouTube? This guy, Day's Kitchen?
No.
You got to DEDDY. He's got over 100,000 YouTube followers. Old Jamaican man with his daughter cooking in their kitchen. He starts every video, hello, good night. And then he goes into this whole diatribe about what he's cooking today, But again, he said, yes, you have to wash the chicken. And he has the chicken in the pot, in a sink, and he's got no gloves on, and he's doing the old wash. So how do you turn your faucet off once you've touched it with your hands?
The kitchen. Rub it down afterwards.
I get it. But again, if the whole practice is you're washing this because you're now trying to take away something.
No, you know what it is? I'm not going to say that because I remember one time when my mother was alive, she told me to make the chicken, right? And I did it and I was being lazy and I didn't do it the way she told me to. And then she was eating it. She turned to me and she asked me how I wash it, and I was like, oh, I can't lie. So I told her, but it's the flavor. She said it smelled raw. She said it smelled raw to her. Like if it's not clean the right way, the aroma when it's cooked is not pleasant. That's what she told me. She didn't like it and she was upset. And she was right because I didn't wash it right. So I felt like, I think it's more for the smell.
I think once you've cooked it, okay. So talk about what application? What application? How did you cook it?
The water. I didn't do it the way I was supposed to, like I told you. But
Yeah.
She could tell when she was eating it. She said the chicken smelled raw. Raw. You know what I mean by raw.
I get you. I hear you.
So then I think it's more for that than germs and bacteria.
But if you fry chicken, it's going to have a completely different texture and smell to it. And if you braise chicken, it's going to, I could put it this way. If you could taste a rawness, if you put curry to that chicken, curry chicken, then, I don't care if even if you, chop the bird's head off and just throw it into a pot, there's no way you could tell the difference if it's cooked all the way through. Salmonella dies at 165 degrees, 170 degrees Fahrenheit. So after that, again, all those pathogens are gone. So again, for me, I'm not trying to change people. I'm just trying to expose them to maybe there's a different way to do this.
Well,
Remember, we're from the same.
My husband never washes the chicken. So, and I was like, why don't you just at least rinse it off? So, it's interesting. I'm glad, you are giving us these tips because I only, if it felt slimy enough. Hold on. Thank you, babe.
I never, look at you with wine.
I'm going to my second one.
I got my little bit left. But I don't, I think, I can't even, I don't think my mom I think it's similar. My mom didn't wash it. I think at the most she just kind of went in there and took that coagulant out and that was it. And, maybe at points she might have washed it. When I cooked and I was cooking for her, and it was never she never did what your mom did. Oh, I know you didn't do this or I didn't do that. And I think now that I cook all the time, I keep, and I'm sitting there thinking, do I, I don't submerge the chicken. I mean, at most I take it out of the bag I clean, I actually don't like, something in me said, why am I running water over this chicken? It's not necessary. So that's when I just said, I just want to take this out, rinse that a little bit. And then after that, I make sure like there's no hair on it, which is very evident here. I've noticed that there's always hair on the dish. Here, frozen, you can get it and defrost it. It's like, why are all these hairs up in here? Or feathers, I should say.
Feathers. I know.
So,
I was like hairs.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I know. Feathers.
Feathers. Right.
So that, of course, I'm taking away, and then I cook it up. But I've never had a problem with it stinking and I understand the thing with it being, because I think I've seen probably shows regarding how things are not even just chicken, but any particular meats because I know people who wash meat, like, like a steak or something. I thought it was weird. And the bacteria that get splashed around, of course, and then it gets splashed around in the areas that you are, and then it's like on you, and then it's a horror to get off. So it's like,
listen, we all made it. Because if anybody is from my generation, we used to thaw things on the counter from the freezer. You go to school, you come home, you put it in the pressure cooker. Like I said, nothing can live in a pressure cooker.
Okay. Well, one thing that I have to bring up, and Lyota, it's about you, because when you talked about washing the chicken, this girl amazed me one time because what do you peel that no other person on earth actually peels? She peels mushrooms.
Because ladies need to brush them. That's the only reason.
You peel the mushrooms? Why?
You can.
Brush them. I just don't feel like it.
That is so much work, girl.
No, it's okay. It's okay. You're cooking for yourself, right? And your family?
And my friends.
And me.
All right, fair enough.
Because I've seen her do that too, actually, because I was like, okay.
That's okay. Listen, if you're in a professional environment, put it this way. I got a lot of kids of color that will come to my restaurants or work with me in my catering. And, you'd say, hey, all right, you take care of the chicken. And then you see them at a sink with, I'm like, what are you doing? Oh, my mom. I go, no, you're in a professional environment here. Okay. With these chickens that we brought in are organic. They are fresh. All they need to be is pat dry. And then we can adhere our seasoning to it and go into what we're trying to do. So what you're doing now is you're creating a step and you're creating danger. Now, after we finish putting it into that water, what do we have to do? Where are we going to dry that? What area are we going to commandeer for you in order to get that task done? So I've had to have this conversation with young cooks. But again, if you've gone to a school, you've learned the proper way. And if you haven't, I know right away because you're bringing your home mentality to a professional environment.
No, but that is good to know and good to remember, even when it comes to me, because that is a dicey kind of a moment. I do remember when I watched you peel mushroom. I never actually questioned it. I was like, okay, that's what she does. She peels the mushrooms. I was like, she cooks good. I ain't dead, I'm not worried about that.
Whatever, come on, little dirt never killed anybody.
This is so true.
That's why these kids are so unhealthy now. They have no antibodies for anything.
Yeah. One of the things that I do is weird is sometimes when I cook a bacon or steak flesk. What is that in English?
What is it?
Steak flesk.
Steak flesk?
Yeah.
It's like a thin. Yeah.
Or is it like slab bacon? What is it?
Slab bacon, yeah.
Okay,
So I like it like, not so crispy, but sometimes, I get it when it's cooking and it's kind of like basically done. And then I pour lemon juice in it and I take some fresh chilies and I chop it up in there. And then I let it get I turn up the heat and it gets like the lemon juice and the fat from the steak flesk. And it's so tasty. It almost tastes like a quick chicharrone.
Chicharrone I love. Oh yes, that's any pork skin is good. Come on now.
Because sometimes I use the Goya seasoning, the con saffron, so it turns a little orange. And that is my fast way for chicharrones.
But again, instead of the lemon juice, if you zested it a little bit just on top, you might get even more of that citrusy flavor that you're looking for. because for sure it's going to dissipate. But that's a great idea. I like that.
That's so yummy.
Oh, in the book.
Thank you very much. It's like Richard Pryor in one of his last movies. It was called Moving, and he goes into a house, and the homeowners say, "Well, we're going to take that with us when we leave." Just kidding. And he moves into the house, and they've taken everything. They said they took the pool.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm taking everything from you guys. Thank you very much.
Yeah, but this is so cool. Okay, we covered meat, we covered chicken.
Yes.
Have we gone through pork? Yes, we did, because we talked about that good old pig. And we talked about steak. We kind of grazed over fish. What's your favorite fish to cook?
Snapper is one of my favorites, but sea bass, Chilean, the Patagonian toothfish, which that's what Chilean sea bass is called in international waters, because it's been overfished and it's been on the endangered list for the last, I'd say, 15 years. It's the fattiest, and just like the shards of flesh that just melt in your mouth. It's sea bass is one of my favorite fish. I wasn't allowed to say that because when it was on the endangered species list, but now it's becoming it's on the sustainable list again. So I can technically go back to cooking it in my restaurant application. It's one of those foolproof ones as well. Like, you literally, even if you overcook it, people still love it.
Now, my mom used to make something called I remember it, Boston chard. I remember it. I don't know what else it would have been called then. I just know it was Boston chard, and all I remember is it was just meat. It was just meat of the fish, you know, and it was all right, or it could have been maybe the way she was making it. It was all right, you know. But what is there a proper name for it? Have you heard of that before?
I'm gonna have to Google that one. I'm gonna say Boston char, because I know there's Arctic char, but Arctic char is more like a trout or a smaller salmon. So it's got the same pinkish hue to it, but
is she I think more she sometimes used it in a stew because it was it wasn't fatty, but it was a meaty fish. So she'd make a fish stew with it, or she would do that, or grill it in the oven, in the grill. One of those two things. There was a rarity when she just like steamed it or covered it and steamed it. But I remember every time when we had it, it was just like you're putting all this meat in your mouth of fish. It was the meatiest fish I'd ever encountered. But she liked using it because of the fact that I think it went a long way.
It's like an orange fish, like a salmon color. I'm Googling it. Is that
correct? Me too. I have my phone here, but I said I'll put it back if you guys can't see it.
Because I remember when I used to see it when she made it, I remember it being white.
Okay.
The meat at least being white, not pink. So
this is wrong then. Oh, it's bringing, okay. We have to do more Googling later on now.
Yeah,
let's do the Google later on. We will Google. But here we drown ourselves in salmon for the most part.
Of course, the Nordic.
We are drowning.
I'm so tired of salmon.
I can imagine. My wife ate it before, probably for a year, you know, and she never, even if I talk about making it now, nah. Yeah. She'll do anything else but.
Yeah.
I like the salmon. I think
I still like it. Yeah, I crisp up that skin till it's so it's crunchy. You know, I just cook it on its backside and then just flip it over on the front just to sort of warm it through a little bit. Oh, it's beautiful. Because I like it.
I have to cook mine through. My husband's like, no. And I was like,
no, she won't. No, she likes it well done.
I make sure it's done through and through. Yeah. When it's so done that it's dry.
So you talking farmed or Atlantic, like our sort of wild caught salmon? Because the wild is much more reddish in color than orange. It's almost got that, it's like just one step beyond orange. Because you know how pink the farm stuff is, as soon as it gets kind of milky almost.
Okay, no, this is more orange. I think
more orange, yeah. Okay, orange, wild. It's probably wild. Where you guys are, you get lots of good wild salmon.
I think it's probably Norwegian.
Norwegian, yes. Even when you're making gravlax or smoked salmon, it still has a much nicer hue to it.
Well, look at you say gravlax. See, you knew much more Swedish than you thought.
Okay.
You mean gravlax?
I do love making it though.
It's like a holiday staple here.
Yeah, I know.
Gravlax and smoked lax, and
Yeah, I know.
it's like
Love it.
staples for almost every single holiday, every single Swedish holiday, I should say.
Oh yeah, with the capers and the red onion or shallots and sour cream. Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
That's the Jewish way.
Yeah, that's the Jew. Here
This is
it's
true probably. Yeah. How do you guys do it?
a lot of herring. Well, it's just a variety of stuff. So they smoke the fish, which is
Like a
not really.
smorgasbord of stuff.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
and it's mostly cold.
Yes. Okay.
It's a
Fair enough.
cold stuff.
And then it's a lot of deal.
Yeah.
Yes.
And a lot of liquor. Sorry, and a lot of a lot of a lot of schnapps
Mhm.
to wash it all down.
There you go. There's nothing wrong with that. That sounds like a good, afternoon.
Yeah.
This is true.
So Robert, I have another question for you since we're on the topic of seafood, because someone told me the best way to marinate the squid is with milk. So you actually break down the tissue so it can become tender before. And how long should that marinade be? And tell me other tips of how to
So
cook it.
we use buttermilk instead of just a straight milk.
Mhm.
Because it has the buttermilk has a little bit more of that tang to it, and a bit more acid, and it does break it down. And we usually, when we're doing it in the restaurant, I do it basically 4 hours before service. I don't like to do it overnight because I think it just takes it a little too far down the broken stage. And when you have especially crispy calamari, it should be crispy on the exterior, but still have some kind of a tooth to it, like al dente kind of pasta, as opposed to just mush. That's not the flavor profile I'm looking for. And grilled squid, again, just marinate that. Like again, I wouldn't even do if I was going to grill it, I would not put it in the buttermilk or milk. I would just do that straight.
Okay.
Olive oil, lemon juice, capers, tomatoes, just something simple, easy.
Because I was able to find the actual squid fillet. So, I mean, it must have been a huge, octopus or whatever. Is octopus and squid the same?
No. Octopus is octopus because
Yeah,
those long time. Yeah, that's completely different as well. That has to be boiled
Yeah.
and softened. I mean, before you even get it into the pot, you want to beat that. You either beat it on a rock to start breaking down some of that connective tissue to tenderize it, then boil it, then take it out, take the skin off if you want. I love that pink skin on octopus. Really love it. My wife knows every restaurant we go to, I order that right away. That's my thing.
But
that's my jam.
So you don't break down the octopus connective tissue with buttermilk at all. You
No.
just out of it.
Can I interject? Can I say something?
Yes.
When I lived in Italy, how they did their octopus, they just boil it, but they allow it to cool in the water, and that in itself broke it down. You didn't have to put anything special in the water unless you wanted to, and then it was nice and soft.
Yes, 100%. Yeah. Again, but when you're in busy restaurants, especially when you're not getting it straight from the sea, it's so different. Like when you're I'm not in a landlocked place. I mean, I have a great lake, but there are no squids. There are no octopuses in our waters, in fresh water lakes. So again, the boiling, I think, is just probably the best way. And again, braising it is also another way. So if you're not going to put it into that boiling salted water like the sea, you could also braise it a little bit longer. But it does you have to have an adept touch when talking about octopus. Not everyone can do it.
I'll do it for you, sir.
And I love finishing it off on the grill, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So squid was the only thing that I've cooked, and I marinated it in milk and grilled it afterwards.
Yes, you can do that. You can definitely do that. Definitely. Wonderful.
Yeah. That was with husband number 1. I haven't done it with husband number 2. That's another story. That's another couch.
Yeah, I'd love to hear that story. How much did he weigh? Whatever his weight is, how to lose 150 pounds in less than 2 minutes.
The husband number 1 had worked in restaurants in Östermalm in Sweden area, and then also in Boston with Lydia Shire, who is one of the top chefs in Massachusetts. So I got really lucky with just having great food. And then now husband number two, he hasn't worked in the restaurant business, but that is the way he relaxes. And he likes to make everything from scratch. So he doesn't get those vegetable cubes. You know, our freezer is filled with, his own stock. And we have to fight on who can actually cook. We were like, who's in charge of dinner tonight? And I probably cooked maybe 4 meals all of 2020.
Well, that's 4 more than my wife. And that's ever, because that's my job. That's my job. Yeah. I will do that. Yeah. We have our division of labor set up. And I never complain. Never complain. This is my last bastion.
Do you clean the kitchen as you go?
Yes.
Like every good chef? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I can't. Yesterday was a long day for me. I did a IG live at from 8 till 9 o'clock, and I was in the kitchen all day. And my wife said, "Oh, you've never left the kitchen like this." I was like wiped out. I cleaned as much as I could. I put everything in the dishwasher, but I didn't. You know, when you have to go back over and just do your little fine, get in there, get the nooks and the crannies. I didn't do it last night, and then that was the first time, since we got the new kitchen.
Yeah.
But it happens, she was in here for an hour and helping me clean up. So that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. How did the IG live go?
Hey, you know what? Went pretty well. I didn't get to see it, but I mean, because I was doing it. And I guess I was supposed to have turned the camera around into the selfie mode so that I could see the split screen, but I turned, whatever. I'm not good with
You're still learning.
I am. They call me the Luddite for a reason.
The Luddite?
Luddite. Luddites are people who like pieces of paper still. I write it, you have notes on this, right? And I still have my scratch pad. I write everything out. I draw my recipes, like what the plate is supposed to look like still. And because I can't do that on a phone.
I'm a Luddite.
You're a Luddite too? Right?
I'm a Luddite. I'm listening to you. I was like, I don't even use my phone as a calendar. I was like, no, I know. I have to write it down in my plan book. And don't you put it in your phone? Why? I have a book.
Yeah, my kids, they go, Dad, there's notes there. You can. Why don't you use it? I'm like, And I'm trying now. I'm trying. And you see that I'm trying because you know where I've come from. I had my camera on a chair. And that's how I started filming myself. So
now I didn't know where you had that camera. I was like, where?
What's on a chair?
It was on a chair. Okay.
I just put it there. I put the chair. It was like a bar stool. I put it in front of my island, and I just, because it was hitting me here sometimes, like, hey.
And then he graduated and got a tripod, and then he had it way up high, and I was like, and I found myself looking up. Well, I'm like, I'm like, why am I doing that? And he was
I wanted the bird's eye view. That's what, in my little fluxy brain. I'm like,
But no, it takes work, and trial and error.
Yeah, they're a fly on the wall, Rob. That's what they are. They're a fly on the wall.
So, Robert, can you just do the shout out of your Instagram so I don't have to go back to where Jamil?
I don't even know where it is. Hang on, I'll have to tell you what it is.
www.instagram.com/Chef Rob Rainford.
Okay.
Thank you so much. I couldn't do that shit. I was going to start crying in the corner because you asked me a real question. I'll answer food, but don't. No. If I said www, I'm out.
Well,
same thing on Facebook. He's Rob Rainford Chef actually on Facebook. On Twitter, he is Chef Rob Rainford, and also his website chefrobrainford.com.
Awesome, man. And my catering is
and your catering is RobRainfordCatering.com. And tell us about the catering.
Well, the pandemic threw me into a bit of a hole right now, and we're slowly climbing ourselves out because I really haven't been able to legally post anything, so I haven't done anything. We've done a couple of events because even going into people's homes now are because we're still on lockdown in Toronto.
Okay.
The surrounding areas are starting to get out of the red zone and going into different. So, but in-house dining is going to still be another month away for us.
Okay.
So that's really going to affect what our summer and our fall looks like. Because I had to do a tasting for a wedding that will be on September the 11th this year. And so we had to do a tasting at one of my friend's restaurants. We had to black out the windows. You know,
So no one can
we had to
see.
park our cars in separate lots so that nobody thought, you know,
That something was happening
yeah, that
inside.
was going on. So again, I hate the fact that I'm skulking around like, you know, a criminal.
Mm.
Just want to get back to work. I just want to get, you know.
Yeah.
I
But
need to.
but why did you? Tell us at least the beginnings of when you started the catering.
I was at Hotel X. I was executive chef down there for 2 years, and I just got tired of the corporate grind. I'm not set out to sit in meetings with 20-something-year-olds and 30-something-year-olds that think they know the world. You know, they've been everywhere, they've done everything, and then dealing with capricious owners who, you know, oh, I want this today. You know, like you know what you told me, and you've supported this menu. Now you want something that you know we don't have. Like I just hated that. So I said, you know what, I'm going to start my own catering company. I have one partner in it. The guy who's doing my hot sauces, Chedy's Hot Sauce, which is my Rob Rainford brand now. And it's synergistic in terms of we are all working together for the same goal. We just have we go into people's homes. We put on 5-star dinners for them for 20 people. We'll do it for as little as 3 people, but up to 200 people. And we've supported all of those events so far. So we're happy. Hello, Mom?
Sorry, this is my timer.
I've been creeping on your Instagram, and I'm like, oh, that's a video. I don't want to watch it yet. I just saw the chicken. And then I heard hot sauce. I was like, you know, because I couldn't find hot sauce for the first years that I moved here. And now it's easier to find, but
you make your own.
I make my own now. You
Yeah.
know, it's just like, I don't need to have hot sauce from the US anymore. I'm like, I just make my own.
No, there's a couple brands out there that are like Tabasco, which is sort of like the universal. It is, you know what I mean? It's a platitude. It's there. But again, if you needed something a little bit spicier.
Yeah, it's one note.
Yeah, that's the thing. I can name that tune. Yes, I can name that. No notes. But again, it's okay. It's okay. And again, we have it. I mean, if you have a drink, like we have a Caesar in Canada, we love it. It's clamato juice, or a tomato juice with a little bit of oyster juice in it, and a little Tabasco. It's good. It's good. And some of the hot sauces that you make from scratch, they can be quite high on the Scoville meter as well, right? If you're grinding up Scotch bonnets, you could technically take your head and your nose off, and any hair that was there.
Yeah. I mean, my father is from India. My mother is African American, and a bunch of other stuff. And so my husband says, I have never met someone like you that has this many peppers and chilies and all these things in the house. And he's like, one drawer is an Indian drawer, another drawer is a lot of peppers, and then I have a Chinese drawer. You can tell it like
different profiles.
Yeah, different profiles.
Oh yeah, they're all over the place. Like what you said, like the Indian is definitely distinct. It's pronounced. Everybody knows when you smell it and taste it, you know. Asian, you know, there's a bit more. Yeah, kind of. It's not a balance, but it's just a different. You know, and then the Americans again, you know, ghost peppers. Some people say they love this thing, but I don't like it. I don't love it.
I don't understand how anyone can love something that is just so hot that it can burn a hole through you. It really doesn't really have any flavor as far as I'm concerned.
No, I tried it. It's no. Okay. Why do people love it though?
I think it's just like the what is it, gosh, where's my English? The fanaticism of it all. I mean, it's like, you know,
it's the novelty act.
The novelty of it, you know, ghost peppers. And
what helps me for hangovers is I get chicken vindaloo, and I ask the people here, can you make it real hot, really, really hot? Because I'm one of those people that can take it really hot. And they said, you're right, not the Swedish hot. I said, no, do it really, really hot. And then I get chili peppers, you know, and I get a double order. So they know me, you know, downstairs. And then I have milk or a lassi. So it's like, if I can't have that, I eat actually peppers raw. And then I have milk, and that settles my stomach. I don't know, maybe because the way I grew up, but that helps me over bacon and eggs.
Yeah, the vitamin G is good for some people in the morning after you get a lot of grease in your stomach. It's going to counterbalance something that's down there. You know what I mean? That's all you're looking for, is just for it to stop fighting. Just go ahead. Again, with the hot, I understand though. I do understand that part. Yeah, because I'm not a heat freak. My wife is chili on there. I mean, can you imagine you make the best dish on the planet and then somebody just
Yes, I've had that happen all the time. I dislike it very, 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 very much.
I don't do that now because I don't want to offend the chef, but I do bring fresh chilies with me. Instead of hot sauce.
You have discounted everything you said before, but
sometimes I like chop them up and say, and I just want a little bit. New Year's Eve party, I went to someone's house and I knew I'm going to have some like meat that I'm not going to like. It's going to be under seasoned. I hope they're not watching this. And then
really, because you've like really zoomed in on what it is.
But yeah, that sounds like me.
I mean, I get it though, Shirley. I do. I get it. I mean, because yeah, there's a lot of times when you're over someone's house here and the food is not seasoned as not even the basics of seasonings, meaning like some salt and pepper. It's yeah. So and I think that's why they do all that drinking. But I mean, but like Shirley says, I'm very used to, like, if you season something, you season it, and basic salt and pepper, it can like just take everything over the edge. You don't need anything else. Salt and pepper.
I'm not overly upset when people season after. Okay, again, when I give you something, it's gonna have salt and pepper as its basic profile, and then whatever spice that I played with, then you should have that profile there as well. But by the same token, if you want to add something, that's okay, because it's individual. You can't please 10 people. Literally. I mean, can you imagine your restaurant? You've got 100 people in there. At least 50% are gonna want something else. So as long as it's the baseline is there and you can embellish it, I'm okay with that as well. It doesn't offend me as much as it used to. It used to really offend me. Like I'm telling you, if somebody even put salt on a dish after I served it, I used to peer out. Like I'd watch it go to the table.
Robert, when they put salt on it before they actually put a piece in their mouth.
That's what that. That just upsets me when they.
That upsets me too. But again, you just have to. Shut up. And again, a paying customer is a paying customer.
Yeah.
I mean, but restaurant-wise, I can see, okay, because everyone's an individual, you can't really control that. But like in my own controlled environment, like at home, and someone just, and I'm like, can you taste it first? Can you just taste it first?
Put it in your mouth.
My fresh chilies, I promise.
No, I'm okay. I'm okay. I understand now, because you're just a hot chili woman, and I understand. So you bring them chilies with you, because I'm not gonna put them on. I remember having dinner at my friend's, and she made this huge plate of rice, and she'd had Scotch bonnets on top, but she realized, it'd be too much for me, so she didn't open them. She just had them on top, and whoever was going to take was going to. This is like a few years ago, and I walked away from the table, and then I came back, and I was talking to her friend, who happened to break the Scotch bonnet and rub it all over this huge tray. I didn't see that. I didn't notice it at all. So now I'm here with a bowl to take some, put it in my mouth. I'm like, oh,
I know.
Oh, and it brought back. It wasn't as bad as the memory I had when I ate a Scotch bonnet.
I did that.
My mama.
Yeah.
She put it in a big pot of beans, and she always did it. And I didn't know what it was. It looked like a pepper, and she hadn't fished it out. Yeah. And she had given me a bowl with the beans and little rice. And I'm not gonna question my mama. So I'm getting it, and I look at this thing, and it's like almost things your mind is saying, you know what that is, don't you? And by other part of my, it's a pepper. It's just like a regular, like a green pepper or something. It's just yellow. I bit that. My side of my mouth, I remember, was numb for a day and a half.
Mm.
And my mother was like, "What'd you buy it for?" I'm like, "But you,"
You
she
put
said,
it.
"I
You
didn't."
put it there. You put it there.
She said, "I didn't tell you to buy it, but you put it in my bowl." She could, and then she, of course, she's like, "Okay, no, I shouldn't have probably put it in your bowl."
No, it's like
She
the
hadn't been
bay leaf.
thinking.
The bay leaf has to be fished out of anything that you
Oh,
put.
bay leaves, she fishes those bad boys out
You
all the
have, but
time.
again,
I think
but
she had forgotten about the Scotch bonnet.
these are mistakes that I see a lot of cooks make as well. Like that cannot make it to a guest's table
No.
ever, man. That'll cut your gizzard down to the bone, man. So yeah, I get it. It's a tough one though. But you live and you learn. But Scotch bonnets, I put it in my grandmother's stew yesterday, and I
Mhm.
made sure the guy says, "Listen, the other chef that was doing, he says, I'm cutting mine up." I said, to each his own. But mine gets put in,
And taken out.
whatever flavor it releases, and then out and gone.
I'm glad you mentioned bay leaves because I know I was looking. I saw something on probably on YouTube or somewhere, but they were talking about bay leaves, and this is a question that they had on there about what do bay leaves release in food? Does it actually give anything to the food, any kind of flavoring, or is it just, you know?
It's kind of like a thyme, that
Mhm.
flavor that it releases because there's essential oils in there, and it's more of a laurel. I don't even know how to describe what laurel is. I mean, when Knights Templar used to go off to war, they would put the bay leaf on their jackets, so it was supposed to be a safety thing as well. But it's got a pronounced fragrant smell that works well in neutral stocks to give it that bumped up flavor. And again, I never not cook without it. That's a staple for me. But I just make sure that I fish it out at the end.
Can bay leaves expire?
Yes. Depending if it's the fresh ones, yes. The dried ones can last forever. Forever, as long as it's not in a moist environment.
So those bay leaves I brought over from the U.S. in a big old dried container.
That's it.
10 years ago.
You know what? You could even pulverize it. So if you put it into one of those Cuisinarts or whatever, and you pulsed it, and it got into a fine dust, you could flavor up a stew or a sauce with that.
Oh, okay, that is good to know because I think that at least will. Because I've like you said, I've always used one. I've always used them, I feel a difference. I smell the difference in certain things when I use it. So, but then I saw this YouTube, they're like, what is a bay leaf? Does it actually have a smell? Does it have to do this? Yeah, I was like, yeah, but
no one can describe it though.
Probably
That's the
not.
problem. Not many people can.
Slightly piney.
What did you say, Lyota?
It's slightly piney in my slightly. I guess it's
piney,
slightly.
He's gonna put that in the book. Be careful. I saw the post-it note.
All these credits he's gonna have at the end. Acknowledgements.
That's okay.
All the acknowledgements will be there. But what is since we're on herbs, what is your favorite herb to use? Fresh and dried?
Marijuana.
That's fresh? That's dried. Okay. And the fresh one?
My two favorite are rosemary and thyme for my herbs. And dried spice, I would say onion powder and garlic powder, because they're two of the ones that I use the most in most of my cooking at home. But yeah, I would go with that. I'm not going to go with anything exotic because I do like Chinese spice. Star anise is like when I discovered that. Because I'm like Christopher Columbus, I discovered America, right? Because it was there already. People were there. But when I discovered star anise, I'm like, wow, why don't people use this more?
Asian cooking.
Yeah, it's really good though. But in the let's just go back to the sorrel. I steeped it with my cinnamon stick.
Yeah.
And the profile just changed. It didn't go drastic, but everybody's going, I taste something. What is that? I'm like, star anise.
Because I like star anise, but I know that it's that licorice flavor.
Yes.
That I am not always amused with.
You don't like licorice? So do you like fennel then? Or you don't like fennel?
I like fennel because I know that also has a slightly licorice kind of thing.
Yes, it does.
But somewhere in the anise family of it is the one that I think it feels a little bit stronger.
Way more
in
pronounced.
some-
Way more pronounced. So
Yeah,
again,
it's a little stronger.
you're going from a 4 to a 9. So
Yeah.
of course,
Yeah.
that's going to be acceptable.
Because
But
I
if you
remember.
mix it with
Huh?
a lot of chilies, Jermaine, it counterbalances that, and that's what the Szechuan cooking.
Well, darn it, I need more chilies. I like to get me some more chilies in there. But yeah, but
I'm taking you to China with me. Sorry.
because with anise, because it's so close, like I said, to the locust. Here they do eat a lot of licorice, with that black licorice, which is that and
Yeah, that's up there. I
And
never enjoyed
yeah.
black licorice.
And I am not one with that. I've
Yeah,
had
I'm
the
on.
softer ones, like the ones that aren't so sour or aren't so strong, and they're okay, but it's still not my cup of tea.
So Zambuca.
See, when I had Sambuca, I was like, whoa. It was okay because it was liquor, but but
Yeah.
when I had it wasn't even Sambuca. I had a shot. I think it was some kind of dare years ago, and it was a shot. It wasn't Sambuca. It was
Turkish pepper?
black. It was here in Stockholm, and it was black, and it was like I think it was like just a licorice, the
I
drink
think
or whatever it was.
Meister?
Huh?
Jägermeister?
Oh, that's got
No,
the
it wasn't
No,
Jägermeister, but it was something as dark as
But
Jägermeister.
I think it's Turkish pepper that's been sitting in vodka along, and that is a very Nordic thing to do.
Okay, then it might have been that, but I had to take a shot of that, and oh my gosh, all of my nerve endings were just like kind of thing. But I mean, but not that like I said, not that I don't like anise, but I think in those extremes, like with the licorice and the other candies and stuff like that. Otherwise, like you say, slipped in there mildly, it gives a nice hint if it's just very mild. If it's in there too strong, trying to make its way through the window and break doors and knock down walls, I'm like, nah. Exactly.
Hammer time. Yeah, I know. I know. I got it. I got you.
But yeah, I think those are the same. I use a lot of garlic powder and onion powder. I think my fresh ones I like are cilantro, though a lot of people don't like that.
No.
I love it.
Mexican food, but you can't take cilantro and put it where parsley would go.
No.
See, I have an issue with people like, oh, you just use it. No, like
No.
cilantro-
It's not used willy-nilly. It's used specific things. I'm not like
in a dish.
Yeah, in a dish.
Tell people what.
No.
For me, it's all about acknowledgement because there are no hard and fast rules.
No.
But there are some times, like especially if you're cooking for others. By the way, if you don't like cilantro and then you put it in, it's done.
Yeah.
There's nowhere to go.
Yeah.
But I put cilantro, and here in Sweden they call it coriander because for a while I was like,
Coriander is the seed. Coriander is the seed, and cilantro is the leaf of the plant itself.
Right.
That's kind of why they should make the distinction.
Yeah.
But
for the name.
They don't hear.
They don't hear. It's the leaf is coriander, and I for a while did not. I couldn't find cilantro. I didn't know what it was.
And the corianders.
and so then I find that I use that when I make empanadas. I make my own versions of empanadas and use this in there.
That works.
And make like food from Chile or Peru.
South America, yes, Mexico all the way down. Yeah, of course, yes. But
I do it in black beans.
Can you imagine if somebody put coriander on gravlax?
Ooh.
Thank you very much. I got the response I was looking for.
Did someone do that?
You're welcome. Yes. Yes. I had a cook, couldn't find the dill. Brings it out.
They thought it was the same?
They didn't know. They didn't think it was the same. They just thought no one would know the difference.
Okay.
Can you imagine ruining a whole batch?
Wow.
Only if he's trying to make his veggie.
Yeah, really, or something, and that.
But a salmon, so that I don't know.
But maybe, you know what? I just can't even see it working though. Like even just the profile alone, I can't see it.
Not with that.
No.
In a beef, maybe, or in a pork, actually, not a beef, but a pork. But nah. I think the other fresh herb for me would be like basil.
Oh yes, that's basilico. Yeah, I like. Yeah, very much a fan.
I went to Italy. I envied all those years that Lyota lived in Italy. When I was in Italy, just those 5 days, and I was at at the Rondolino family's house, and they make a rice there called aquarella, and they had made salad, and it was just filled with this beautiful basil, and I was just so happy to have green food because I was eating risotto the whole time.
Yeah.
And I was like vegetables, and it was heaven. And I'd never actually had basil in a salad. That was the first time ever.
Tomatoes and basil. Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, I've had like tomato and basil, but like within a whole salad, having the basil, that I'd never had. And I was like, well, this is going to be a staple.
a good pesto, you know.
Yeah. Oh, pesto, most definitely.
You know,
Most
and
definitely.
even if you don't like the nuts, they eliminate the pine nuts, and you could even use like a walnut or something else if you needed to, you know, if you had some types of allergies. But yeah, basils are wonderful. Yeah, because we're doing pizza tomorrow, so
are we.
yeah.
Lyota, what are your
I'm
fresh
gonna,
ones and your
I'm
dry
gonna
ones?
do. I'm doing the dough. As soon as we hang up, I'll make my dough. Let it hang out for a night. Take care of that tomorrow.
Lee?
I like thyme and I like chives, believe it or not, for my fresh herbs.
There you go. I like the chives thing because the time we all have in common. But yes, the chives I like too because it's such a nice onion without that big pronounce. Get you over the face with it.
Shirley, peppers and.
But I do love sage, fresh.
Fresh sage, yes.
Fresh. Yeah. And I am a stickler, thyme, fresh or dried, you know, and rosemary, fresh or dried. So it depends on how I'm going to use it.
Yeah.
Whose phone is that? Mine or you? I have a high pitched sound. Yeah. Is it me?
I'm hearing it too. I don't know where it's coming from though.
I don't know.
Is it me?
I don't know. I don't hear it.
You don't hear it? Okay, good. Then don't worry.
I don't.
If a tree falls in the woods.
Wow,
I knew it wasn't me because I went on mute and you guys were still hearing it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. It could. I don't know what it is. But this has been so. Huh?
I'm not hearing it anymore.
Oh, okay.
It's gone.
Okay. Good.
So it was you then.
Here's to Leo down.
Yeah, I hear
I don't have anything.
But this has been so nice. This has been really great. There were a lot of people. There were a few people writing there, so I was trying to snatch their questions and ask at the same time. There was one guy who was very proud of himself, but he did not wash his chicken, so he felt really good that he was doing the right thing.
Validated. He is validated.
Yeah. But no, this has been really, really great, informative. I mean, and I love the fact that we're all sitting here talking about all this food and learning, and literally just learning new stuff and having that recreation of hearing all of the ideas that you have, that you're going to have, the book you're going to write in the future, with all those acknowledgments on the back.
Don't worry, you're in there, bro. You know that. We moved way past that the other stuff long time ago because I told you if I happy birthday you sung.
That's right. He sent me a happy birthday song on my birthday.
Like, that's cool, man. You got a wonderful voice, man. That's a talent I wish I had. If we had a superpower that you wanted that you didn't have now, what would it be? Mine would be if I could sing.
You could sing?
Oh, I can't carry a tune in a bucket. Ask anybody here.
Wow.
My kids go, oh, Dad. Don't do it. Don't do it. Especially don't do it live. Don't do it. Don't let anybody else see that. You can sing though, right? I don't think it's a talent that everyone has. Just like food. Everybody can't cook.
You're right. They don't have the.
Yes, whatever that is. Whatever.
Yeah,
you have it.
At least have a knack for doing it. Thank you.
You have it.
Thanks. But at least we have the fact that all of us do cook and hearing you and getting especially getting all the tips, regarding a lot of the stuff that I appreciate very much because now I can experiment more in the kitchen, which is something I definitely like to do. If I'm in there on my own, because even like you just said, you're making pizza. I'm sitting here, I'm like, I have the oven like on high because I'm getting ready to bake some more bread because I'm using a whole different recipe with different flours. And I just want to see how it works with this particular combination, kind of thing. So that I anticipate. But either way, it's like our time is like really close up. And but I really want to thank you, Rob, for being here and talking
Anytime,
with
my
us
dude.
this evening. This is really cool.
You
If
had me at hello.
Thank you. And Cheryl, Lyota, I'm so glad you guys hung out and stuck
Anytime.
around. I know
Anytime.
Karen was here. She really didn't want to go, but she had to go. But she she also enjoyed herself very much in meeting you.
Let's not talk. She was
And
never here.
she was
Never here.
Karen.
Hear no evil.
But Rob, you can list out where can everybody find you? I know I wrote them in there, but you can just list out all those places we can find you.
I am on Instagram at Instagram. I'm on Facebook. You know I don't know them damn things, man. Girl, come on, man.
Repeat. Okay, I'm a tell everybody. Yes, you can. You can find him on Instagram. You can find him on Twitter.
I'm Chef Rob Rainford on Instagram.
That's
right?
it.
And what's the Twitter thing there? I got to bring it up close to
on Twitter, you are Chef Rob Rainford. On Facebook, you are Rob Rainford Chef. On Instagram, you are Chef Rob Rainford. And for your catering, you are website Rob Rainford.
www.robrainfordcatering. Thank you. You got it. Thank you, guys.
And all of those are listed under this channel here that you can check out everything he has. Follow him. What else you do? You follow and you subscribe and you befriend and all the stuff that you're supposed to do when you have all these social medias, and literally just watch him cook because he's getting himself together here with these IGs, these little mini IGs that he's doing. So, and he just did an IG last night. For us, it was 2 a.m. So I don't think I was going to
you can watch it again whenever you want.
Yes, but but check it out because you're there. What are you making? You're making your grandma's chicken
stew.
Chicken stew.
Yeah.
Yes,
and it was
brown stew.
Brown stew, yes. I just took the bones out this time. I deboned everything. That was the only thing that my grandmother never did, and my grandmother didn't eat chicken either.
She did it,
but she cooked so well.
That's the truth. They may not eat it, but they'll cook it.
Oh, yes, that's a good thing, right?
That is so. That's wow. That to me is so interesting when someone cooks something and they don't
eat it. Like, I can't believe, and she was such a good cook, man. Like, I'm like, Mom, Grandma, you're not even gonna try to. I know what it tastes like. Okay.
Because my mom was like that too. She didn't want to deprive us of something for whatever reason. A lot of people don't eat fish. I said, why don't you eat fish? They're like, because my mother never made it. And I thought about that. If you're not exposed to things, how do you know? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's really good that whatever reason she may not eat something, she still exposed you guys to that. That was nice.
Give it a shot.
Yes.
Well, you guys, I'm so glad you were here tonight. You 4, you 3, you stay right there. Don't go anywhere.
I'm going to make pizza dough.
You're going to make pizza dough. But thank you all for joining us on Zoom in Comfort with our guest, Chef Rob Rainford. Again, follow him at all of his social media stations, as well as subscribe to Zoom in Comfort to see many more of these little chats with other people that are very interesting, as well as Chef Rob right here.
I'll be back next week.
Rob will be back next week with more culinary ideas.
No, I'm just going to stop and watch. I'm going to
okay, that's cool. But you all have a great night, and I hope to see you again soon, hopefully in 2 weeks, because that's when we'll be back. So take care and have a good evening.
Good night, ladies.
Bye.
Take care. Bye now. Bye.
Okay, the big stream.